from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Well, it's just about 6 o'clock on this Saturday, August 18th. Good morning, I'm Devin Fehely.
And I'm Julie Watts, and we'll get started with a quick check of your forecast this morning. We do have a little bit of coastal cloud cover, a little bit of fog right along the coast, but for the most part, sunshine will be the story today, with temperatures heating up inland. Out the door this morning, we are in the 50s, pretty much Bay Area wide. Santa Rosa right now, the cool spot at 48. Headlines for today, we'll start off with a little fog along the coast and near the bay, but temperatures will peak today. We're looking at triple digits for some of the warmest spots up north. Most folks in the Bay Area topping out, peaking in the mid-90s. Hazy sun. It is a spare the air day. We'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Devin, over to you.
Former Secretary General of the United Nations Kofi Annan has died. Annan's foundation announced this morning that the Nobel Prize winner died after a short, unspecified illness. He was born in the West African nation of Ghana and served 2 terms as UN Secretary General from 1997 to 2006. During his tenure, Annan got the UN through one of its most turbulent periods. He was 80 years old.
Well, Facebook and the federal government are reportedly haggling over access to the Facebook Messenger app. According to Reuters, the Department of Justice asked Menlo Park-based Facebook to help wiretap Messenger chats as part of a criminal investigation. It's reportedly connected to a Fresno case involving the violent international gang MS-13. The unprecedented access would require breaking the encryption on Messenger.
What's going on is that the government is trying to get access to otherwise protected information. The way technology has advanced, the tech industry has come up with a lot of ways to make sure that our information is protected from prying eyes, whether it's from hackers or governments.
Now, according to the Reuters report, the feds asked a judge this week to hold Facebook in contempt of court for refusing to cooperate.
The attorney for the family of a young woman killed on a BART station platform claims that the whole thing could have been avoided. John Lee Cowell is charged with killing Nia Wilson last month, but now KPIX 5's Darlene says there may have been warnings about his dangerous behavior before that young woman died. BART says it cannot comment on pending litigation, but that safety is the agency's top priority.
Well, friends, family, and fellow officers all gathered to pay tribute to a veteran highway patrolman, Kirk Griss. He was killed a week ago doing the job he loved. Dozens of stormtroopers swarmed the stage in a nod to his favorite movie characters. Fellow patrolmen remembered the man nicknamed Hollywood for his good looks as a devoted father and husband. His daughter, Katie, is already following in her father's footsteps.
Now that I have 29 days until I graduate, I know I need to stay strong. If he were here, he would be holding my face and telling me to finish. I'm sorry, Dad, that I won't be wearing those nice hands that you had, but I'll be in classic blue, protecting and serving the same streets that you rode on.
Now, Griss was killed during a traffic stop on I-80 in Fairfield last Friday. The driver he stopped also died. The CHP has arrested a Rockland man and charged him in both deaths. Officers say the man was speeding and distracted on his cell phone.
A driver doing donuts in the middle of a San Jose street lost control, sending 3 people, including a toddler, to the hospital. A viewer captured the car spinning out near Phelan and Lucretia Avenues, right near Kelly Park. There was a lot of traffic in the area at the time, and at some point the driver lost control. And this happened. The driver hit a power pole and then a minivan. 2 adults and a small child in the van went to the hospital. The driver in the white car was also hurt. No word on whether he'll be charged or on anyone else's conditions.
Well, San Francisco police have taken a dozen suspects and car burglars off the streets. Police say they were involved in 8 smash and grabs in the Japantown area, all of them busted by officers in plain clothes between July 26th and August 15th. Now, 3 arrests were at Geary and Laguna Street, 2 at Geary and Steiner Street, 2 along Sutter Street, and another at Webster and Post. Police say car burglaries are down 20% so far this year.
Anti-drug groups gathered in San Francisco to protest the city's plans to open a new safe injection site for drug users. Now, so far, there is no word on exactly when or where that might happen. Similar facilities already exist in Europe and Canada, but San Francisco's would be the first in the U.S. The city says that the goal is to reduce overdose deaths, public drug use, and discarded syringes. Now, in response to yesterday's protest, Mayor London Breed said in a statement, quote, What we are currently doing is not working, and we need to be prepared to try things that are working in other communities. But opponents argue that the move could do more harm than good.
The government's priority should be focusing on public health and safety, including drug use prevention and rehabilitation. Regardless, government should not virtually encourage illegal drug consumption and illegal drug trafficking.
Now, Mayor Breed said that there was a similar pushback against a facility that she toured in Vancouver, but once the public saw how it was working, they supported it.
A private concert just for Tesla employees. Rock musician Jack White played late yesterday outside the factory in Fremont. People just had to show their Tesla ID badges to get in. A company-wide email yesterday described the free concert as, quote, a thank you for all your hard work and dedication.
The city of Benicia says it's taking steps to limit the use of weed killers in its public parks. The city announced yesterday it has discontinued the use of glyphosate, the key ingredient in Roundup. It's also implemented a mulching program to naturally control weeds whenever possible, and herbicides. And when herbicides are required, the city says it's using the least toxic products available, and they're never applied to playgrounds. The city's stockpile and application procedures are also regularly inspected by county officials. This comes after a former groundskeeper for the Benicia Unified School District won a $289 million verdict against Roundup manufacturer Monsanto after arguing that the chemical in the Roundup products that he used for years caused his terminal cancer.
A Bay Area congressman wants a local landfill tested for radiation after recent reports found soil was shipped from Hunters Point Shipyard to that landfill. Congressman Mark DeSagne sent a letter yesterday to the Assistant Secretary of the Navy. He wants soil from the Keller Canyon landfill in Contra Costa County near Pittsburgh to be tested for radiological materials. The congressman wants to ensure the site is safe, and he wants the Navy to verify that there is no radiation present.
One cleaner water, Governor Brown says you can have it if you pay a new tax, but it's voluntary. The proposed tax on water bills would be to fund safe drinking water projects throughout the state. Supporters say it could generate as much as $100 million per year and cost most homeowners no more than $1 a month. The money would be used to prioritize areas with the highest risk of tainted drinking water. Today is a Spare the Air Day throughout the Bay Area. Air quality regulators warn about a combination of smog and smoky air drifting from wildfires farther north. They urge people to exercise outdoors only in the early morning when ozone layer levels are lower. It's also a good idea to stay inside the rest of the time with your windows and your doors closed. The SFMTA is planning to improve background checks on potential contractors. Muni says it will now verify responses on questionnaires submitted for city contracts. The move comes after a worker was killed while working on construction of the Twin Peaks tunnel. Mayor London Breed ordered Muni to improve its screening process after it was revealed that the contractor had previous safety violations. Police are investigating a new wave of cell phone thefts aboard BART trains. According to police logs, there have been at least 5 thefts reported in just the past week. They happened at the West Oakland, Daly City, Bayfair, Lake Merritt, and South Hayward stations. It's unclear if the crimes are all connected or if anyone has been arrested.
Well, luck just ran out for another suspect in an alleged ring of Bay Area lottery thieves. 21-year-old Jose Santamayor turned himself in Thursday. He and 3 others are accused of raiding about a dozen gas stations and convenience stores for scratchers tickets. Investigators say more arrests are possible.
Tall orange flames and dry brush shut down part of an East Bay highway as many as 5 fires broke out around 7 o'clock last night near Highway 4 in Martinez. Westbound lanes were closed for more than 2 hours. Up to 40 acres have burned. The fire marshal says that fortunately there was no wind in that area, making it easier for crews battling the flames.
Going into last night, the Oakland A's were just 2 back of the division-leading Houston Astros. With a 3-game set on tap for this weekend against Houston, the green and gold could be division leaders with a series sweep. The A's hoping to make a lot of noise this weekend as they chase the division lead, bottom of the 9th inning. The Astros leading 3-2. Nick Martini, he doubles into right field. Pinch runner Ramon Laureano is going to try to score all the way from first. Houston makes a great relay that appears to get Laureano at the plate, but this play was reviewed and overturned, so the game was tied and it goes to extras. In the 10th inning, Matt Olson leads off the inning and he connects for a no doubt walk-off home run, the first game-ending homer of his career, and the A's come back to win a thriller 4-3. So with the win, Oakland now trails the Houston Astros by just one game in the AL West. And in the wild card race, the Seattle loss last night means that the A's increased their lead 3.5 games. To the Giants, Casey Kelly making his first start as a Giant against the Reds and their bench coach, which happens to be his dad. This one was decided long after Kelly departed, tied at 1 in the 11th. Philip Santana blasts a walk-off home run off Ray Black. Cincinnati wins 2-1 as the Giants fall 7 games back of Arizona in the NL West. And the Raiders and 49ers both in action today. You can watch the 49ers and the Texans right here on KPIX 5 at 5 o'clock. Andrea Nakano, KPIX 5 Sports.